commissioners and public. I take a great honor in calling on the name of our Father to ask Him to bless these county commissioners, to be about our business in the county, for those things that are good and righteous and pure, for those things that will benefit our public, for those things that they know in their hearts and in their minds that are right. We ask a blessing on the people of this county, that they would support our commissioners in the things that they decide as a democracy. We thank you, Father, that we live in a democracy. We thank you for everything that you're doing in each and every one of our individual lives. And we give you all the credit and glory. In Jesus' precious name, amen.
Amen. Thank you, Mr. Fenton. Would you please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
God bless our troops.
Thank you. This morning, our chairman, Gary Hollis, is in Washington, D.C., so I will be doing my duty as his replacement, so bear with me. I'll open this meeting of the Board of Commissioners for June 21st, and we will begin with...
Let's begin at the beginning, shall
Why
we?
don't we? Let me find it.
I know.
With approving the agenda, Mr. Osborne?
Thank you, Madam Chair. We can strike numbers 3 and 4 this morning. Do we have any emergency items this morning?
Not that I'm aware of.
Hearing none, we can strike 7. And turn the pages. We can strike 11, D as in dog, E as in Edward, F as in Frank. Numbers 13 through 19, 21 and 22, 24, 26, 29 through 32, and I believe that is all.
Madam Chairman, if I could, if we could put 11D, I did speak with one of the commissioners, they wanted an update. So we will have a brief meeting on potential current litigation.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Very brief.
Rick, we're going to remove 9P also. It may be re-agendized for a subsequent meeting, but for now, that's going to get pulled.
9P is in Paul.
Yes.
Is that everything?
I believe so.
I think so.
Okay, we're going to move on to item number 5, which is announcements. Are there any announcements?
Yes, Madam Chair, we have the upcoming 4th of July parade here at the I. The pancake breakfast will start at 7 a.m. and the parade will kick off at 9. And also wanted to let everyone know that our Pahrump Valley Youth Organization had started its summer program yesterday. We're at Mant School now with what used to be the Boys and Girls Club. And I want to thank all of the executive board and parents and everybody that helped make that happen. So we do have a summer program again. It's being funded locally, and it's all private donations, and it's going very well. We have 100 children in that, and we have quite a few others that have applied that if we can get staffing will increase the size of that program. Very, very good of the school board to allow us to use their Mance building, the one that normally is used for the elections and whatnot there. It's perfect. And it's going very, very well. And I think that's it for announcements.
Thank you.
Madam Chair. Also, the second, third, and fourth, I believe the Chamber is doing the Freedom Festival at Petrick Park. So there'll be things going on all weekend, including the Independence Day Parade. The parade will be around the Calvada Eye here, and there'll be music all weekend. That's about it.
Thank you, Dan. Joni?
If I could, Commissioner Wickman, call Sheriff DeMeo to the speaker's table. Tony, I wonder if you wouldn't mind sharing with everyone what you did during Memorial Day in Tonopah.
I appreciate that, Commissioner. Thank you so much. And I beg the Commissioner's indulgence so I make sure I get this right. On April 7th, 1906, Sheriff Thomas Logan was shot and killed in a Jewel Saloon in Manhattan. And I'm going to read from the officer's memorial page what had happened. Sheriff Logan was shot and killed while coming to the aid of a saloon matron in Manhattan, Nevada. The matron was being harassed by a drunk gambler inside. As Sheriff Logan attempted to remove the man from the saloon, the man suddenly pulled out a gun and shot him 5 times. Although mortally wounded, he was able to subdue the suspect until a deputy arrived at the scene. The suspect in his murder was later acquitted of The sheriff was serving his 3rd term as sheriff and had served the agency for 8 years and was survived by his wife and 8 children. And what happened is, as you're well aware, the family for Sheriff Logan was commemorating his 150th birthday. Mm-hmm. And they asked me to be a part of that. And after reviewing the records, and there's other records I have besides this, what I did, I gave them of course, the etching and the photo from the memorial wall from Washington, D.C. I gave them the patches and a letter of commendation for Sheriff Logan, where at that time he was awarded the Purple Heart and then Valor for subduing the suspect. And he actually prevented the suspect from being actually taken away from scene, and he was concerned that the suspect was going to be either brutally beaten or killed by the people at the tavern. And even though he knew he was mortally wounded, died from blood loss, he was still able to do his job quite heroically. A deputy arrived on scene and then took the suspect into custody.
A deputy arrived on scene by horseback.
Yes, as well, where I don't know how many people visit Manhattan, but Manhattan was a very lively town in those times. And the first deputy we actually lost was in Norfolk Canyon in 1867, I believe. And Sheriff Logan was the second of 2 sheriffs that we lost in service to Nye County. So I appreciate the opportunity that this family gave me, and they're very appreciative. In fact, they actually gave them closure. Because they were saying that they thought that he wasn't going to be fully recognized for what he had done, and unfortunately the trial overshadowed the efforts that Sheriff Logan did.
And any of you who know their Nye County history know this particular trial, and Brian, you're probably well aware of this. It's called McCarran's Miracle, because he was able to get that defendant acquitted of the charges.
That's correct. And
McCarran, as in Pat McCarran, and I'm sure everybody knows who that is. So.
The name is very familiar. I appreciate the opportunity, and the family was very grateful for and just say this, they were very grateful for the hospitality that Tonopah showed them during the time of visit. We gave them a tour of the old jail where the suspect at that time was kept. And they were able to visit the people there, and they're coming back, actually. They have decided to come back and make this pretty much a yearly or every 5-year anniversary. But they were very thankful for the hospitality and the warmth that the citizens of Tonopah and Nye County showed them for that. And I appreciate everything that the town did and the commission did for the family as well.
Tony, we appreciated everything you did. You
really
made it all come together.
It was an honor to be part of that and to bring a resolution and closure to the family and what they went through. And I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Tony. Is that everything? Mr. Osborne, do you have any announcements?
No.
We'll move right on then to the general public comment. This is the first of 2 opportunities for the public to speak. You'll be limited to 3 minutes per person. The action will not be taken on the matters considered during this period until specifically included on an agenda as an action item.
Madam Chair, we have a Carmelo Mata.
Mata.
I'm sorry. Is that
There he is.
Yes,
Right
he's
there.
there.
in Tonopah.
Tonopah? Okay.
Yeah, mic's on. First name's Carmelo, last name's Mata, M-O-T-T-A. I'm here to speak on behalf of myself and many other constituents that have weighed in on this issue and have concerns about the Manhattan Water Project that is being conducted under an umbrella of federal funding. We request that Resolution 2011-30 and 2011-47 of May 3rd, 2011 be reheard. We ask that you reschedule and reopen these resolutions, that open meeting violations have occurred, that these resolutions be immediately recalendared, excuse me, my allergies, recalendared to allow for proper open meeting procedures to be followed, that a vote was conducted prior to an application for public comment, that an application for public comment is to be heard by this board first prior to any vote of an action item, that NRS cited in the resolution 2011-30 is not the correct NRS to be citing and is in conflict with the procedures required for the Manhattan Water Project. That resolution 2011-47 was not presented on an agenda prior to being voted on by this board. That the public was never informed correctly of this land trade and public hearing has never been scheduled. That 2011-30 also cites NRS 244276 and isn't applicable to the purchase of USDA required right-of-ways for the Manhattan Water Project. That after some discovery in public files, there was found what appears to be deception and fraud involved in the Manhattan Water Project by public officials and public employees involving the county commissioners, Nye County Public Works, Nye County Treasurer, and a private party. That the county has approved the transfer of 13 prime properties taken illegally by the Nye County Treasurer and quitclaimed to the county. That the county intends to exchange these 13 properties to a private party in exchange for a road easement and a right-of-way from that private party. That 90% of the road and right-of-way being received from this private property appears to already belong to the county. That 361603 was cited and used in the NRS to capture these now county-owned properties and requires that the county pay the delinquent taxes, which amount to over $100,000. That the county is not exempt by this statute unless actually using the physical property for actual streets. That the county treasury and state treasury have been denied payment of required taxes provided to be paid in the provisions of NRS. This action is a violation of state law. That the former treasurer raised concerns in front of the Board of Commissioners and was literally told not to worry about it. That Public Works Dave Fanning and Oscar Wickman, husband of Commissioner Wickman, are conducting what appears to be a deceptive land trade with a private party. That we believe Commissioner Wickman and Commissioner Eastley are privy to all of this.
Mr. Mata?
Our
I'm afraid you're
concerns-
3 minutes.
I have
Okay.
one more paragraph. I would ask
Okay.
to be allowed to
Continue,
to
please.
finish it. That the District Attorney, Brian Kunze, has an obligation to investigate these activities that have an appearance of fraud, but has possibly participated in the cover-up, which raises concerns that a special investigation may be necessary, and that he may have a conflict in investigating these violations, and that there is if there is a conflict, that the investigation of these violations be forwarded to the State Attorney General's Integrity Unit. That since the discovery, I have been purposely hindered, delayed, and denied access to public files for over 30 days by the Nye County Treasurer, Nye County Public Works, and Nye County Commissioners, and have recently seen behavior by our District Attorney, Brian Kunze, in participating in what appears to be a cover-up by his actions of directing county offices to withhold public files from being inspected. That he should abstain from this investigation and forward it to the Attorney General's Integrity Unit. We request the county and commissioners take this matter seriously and recalendar and reopen 2011-30 and 2011-47 for the people. We welcome the news media to this issue to help inform the public. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mata. We'll move on then to item number 8, which is the Commissioner's Manager's comments. Rick, would you like to go first?
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair.
Okay, Butch.
I'm sorry. I thought that's what you said.
No, I
He said
said
Rick. She said Rick.
I'll address you by commissioners. I'm sorry. Commissioner Boraski, please go ahead.
Thank you. Sorry, Rick, I didn't mean to jump in front of you, but I sit in a higher chair. Okay, 2 things I'd like to put on the upcoming Tonopah agenda. One of them will be the Project 5000. I don't know if I can get all the backup in time, but we could at least discuss it when it comes up. It's something that's available to Nye County, and maybe we can find a spot for these kids for a summer program thing that would be no cost to us. And the other thing is timed items. I'm getting an awful lot of feedback from people who come in for something and have to wait over 3 hours at times. I don't think we're being courteous, and again, it's up to the chairman, whoever the chairman is at that time, but something needs to be addressed and looked at. So they'll be coming up on our next Tonopah meeting. That's it.
Commissioner Eastley? Commissioner Shinhofen?
I got one more thing.
Yeah, if I could, I just want to defer to County Manager if he could say a couple words about the pond. I've got a bunch of phone calls on it, so if he could explain briefly why the water is disappearing.
Certainly. Well, as everyone knows, we did complete the construction on the ponds and refilled them. However, we discovered that there is a leak, and so that is why the water level is dwindling. We think we know what the problem is, and as soon as we get the ponds down to a level where we can make the repair to the ponds, we'll do so and refill them and hope we get it at that time. But that's the problem. There's been a leak discovered.
Thank you. Commissioner Boraski.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I had one other thing. I had an email this morning from Michael Mack from New Hope, and it reads, on behalf of the New Hope Fellowship and Path of Hope Community Food Operation, which gives out food every Wednesday and also runs through bi-monthly USDA commodity distribution at 781 West Street. We would like to thank the commissioners for their support in our services to the community by the county's donation of the used carport that were taken down here at the Calvada I quite some time ago. And actually, the value of that was very, very minimal, but it helps them tremendously. And they all wanted to thank you. Now they don't have to stand out in the sun to hand the food out. And it keeps it cooler and fresher. And they're very, very grateful. They really wish we would have sent them somebody to put it all back together, but they're plugging away at it.
Well, Commissioner Boraski, we wouldn't have known we had that opportunity to help if you hadn't brought it to our attention, so thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. In an effort to keep this on a timely fashion so people don't have to wait, we're going to go to the 10 a.m. item.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
I did have one other announcement under 8.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I would like to let the board know that I've been asked by Commissioner Shinhofen to review a guidelines for design and review that basically guides the public works on engineering costs on projects. And we will be conducting a review of that document over the next few weeks. And so you'll see that come back once we've completed that review with our recommendations for the board to consider.
Thank you. Is that everything? Yes. Okay, now we'll move to an item, which is an action item. It's for discussion of and possibly adoption of Nye County Resolution 2011-67, a resolution protesting the Environmental Protection Agency and Army Corps of Engineers draft guidance broadening the authority of the Clean Water Act.
Motion to adopt.
I will oh, I can't.
Yeah, you can. There's nothing prohibiting it.
Which,
Okay, I have a motion from Commissioner Eastley, and I think I have a second from Commissioner Boraski. Did I?
Good job,
Yes.
Dan.
Yes. Any further discussion?
I just have one question. To whom is this going to be forwarded? It's not, yeah, if you could just let us know.
yeah, it's a Environmental Protection Agency and Army Corps of Engineer, and it it needed to be in, it needs to be in by July 1st for the end of their EIS, whatever their.
May I also request that a copy of that is forwarded to the Central Nevada Regional Water Authority, Steve Bradhurst,
Sure.
and to the Water District?
I'm in.
Probably doesn't hurt to send it to Nevada's delegation also.
Right.
I think
Okay.
they're the ones who hold the purse
And that's on the
strings.
record, so I'm sure staff will help you with that.
Dan, thank you for sponsoring this. Good job.
Thank you.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Do I have any opposition? That passes unanimously.
Great.
Do you want to watch this? I don't know which item it's on. Oh, 10:45. And we are almost on time by recessing to the Board of Road Commissioners.
Going to be a yeoman's
That's going to
job.
be you, so
And that is
go.
me. So hang on, let me turn pages.
Yeah, that is novel. You're right.
I'm sorry. There's one reason why we can't do that yet is I have to take the consent agenda items one more time.
Oh, yes, this is the last time.
The last time. So we are going to go back to the Board of Commissioners, and I am going to take us to item 9, the consent agenda items. Is there anyone who needs to review before discussing, or for discussion, any of these items? No. Then I will entertain a motion.
Madam Chair, motion to approve consent agenda items 9B through RR.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion?
Madam Chairman,
Yes.
I thought we.
Oh, yeah, we removed R. I apologize.
You used 9P.
P,
think
I
you said.
mean. Yeah, we removed P, with the exception of P. Thank you.
Perfect.
Thanks, Brian.
Second.
Don't believe a word I say.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Passes unanimously. Now we will recess to the Board of Road Commissioners.
Wow, that about wipes out half my book here.
Yeah.
Full, huh?
About half the book, isn't it?
Okay, we have two public hearings. This is opening the Board of Road Commissioners for June 21st, 2011. Our 10:15 timed agenda items are items A and B. Both are public hearings. One is to for adoption or amendment and adoption or rejection of Nye County Resolution, or the Board of Road Commissioners Resolution RC 2011-19 for Last Chance Road, and 2020 for Crystal Springs Lodge Road. Is there anyone who wishes to speak for or against these items? Sam, anybody in Tonopah?
Be easier to turn pages.
Nope. I know.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to adopt 2011-19 and 2011-20.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes unanimously. There are no minutes to be approved. Is there any general public comment during the road commission? And there's none in Tonopah. Item number 3 is the general road report by the Public Works Director. Good morning, Dave.
Good morning, Commissioners. Big sigh of relief.
What's going on with the, if I may,
Please.
what's going on with the road shop in Tonopah? That building's been sitting there for almost a year now, and we're still not in it.
The supervisor's trailer for
Yes.
the road workers. I have actually submitted the power application to NV Energy a month ago, and I'm actually pursuing that one. Bob Jones has actually been working with his crew and staff, I believe, to actually get the skirting up. And I spoke to Stretch, I think it was last week or the week before
Mr. Osborne,
that.
don't leave, because I want to,
And
oh, okay.
the interior has not been done yet, and I think Bob is actually trying to get a few other items done. I'm not too sure where he's at with that, so.
Okay.
I can tell you where I am with what I'm trying to do on the power side.
So when do you think they'll be in it?
Right now, that is actually up to Bob Jones and his staff and crew.
Mr. Osborne?
Due to the
I'm just curious
remodeling.
why this is not listed as an outstanding project on the Buildings and Grounds project list. We have 9 open projects, 8 of them are in Pahrump. 1 is in Beatty. unless I'm reading the report wrong.
I don't know.
I'll have to look into that. I don't have an answer for you.
Okay,
Yeah,
just curious why it is not recognized as a project. Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
I do not have anything at this time on the current agenda that's actually in front of us, but I would like to give you an update on where we stand with a couple of bids that had taken place in the last couple of weeks since the last commissioners meeting and this one. We have opened the actual bids for the Homestead and SR 160 last Thursday, and that would be for rebuilding Homestead all the way down to Game Bird from SR, and then the actual traffic signal widening and final design phase. That is actually going to come in front of the board for award of approval on the next BOCC meeting. And at least we're moving that thing forward. The two jobs are combined. That's really great news. The other item is actually on Friday, we opened up the GABS regrading and paving, or actually regrading the runways in GABS. That item is actually going to come in front of you as well for award as well. So those are the two newest, actually three newest items, and I know that this has been a 5-year project with the SR 160. So it is just as much a big weight off of my shoulders as it is, I'm sure, yours. So that will actually be public record. It is public record right now, but you guys will see it come in front of you on the next BOCC meeting.
Thank you very much, Dave.
Madam Chair, may I address
Please do.
Mr. Fanning? Dave, I've had a lot of comments about Homestead Road and all the money that's been spent for all the engineering and everything. And this is not coming from me, this is coming from others in the community. And there's a lot of people saying, well, why bother changing that traffic light? It works so well. There's never been an accident. Could you explain a little bit to the general public that why we have to, take the old light down and put the new ones up, please?
Yes, and due to the fact that the anticipation was 3 years ago to actually change that temporary to a permanent, at the time, temporary lights are not something that are subject to stay permanent due to the fact that they are not legal in crash aspect, as well as actually the requirement standards for the NDOT right-of-ways. And that's really the main reason for that. Moving through that process, and the reason for the holdup were actually design criteria plans through NDOT. And that's what's held us up for the last 3 years when the temporary went into what we're seeing here today. That's where we are, and that's currently what is actually the issue.
Well, then I guess my next question would be, could you actually, the way that's set up right now, redo that intersection without having to remove any of the poles or anything that are there now?
No, because an actual temporary, that is not a temporary structure as much as it's stayed beyond temporary. And it is not actually per the actual, the required federal regulations for the actual highway use and its intentions. So it cannot stay. It is strictly a temporary light. That actual light did come from St. Rose Parkway in Henderson. So that's how much that, just to give you an idea of actually how they get moved around through anything that affects NDOT. And that light was originally over there before it came out here and got installed, so.
And I have one other item, rain dance over there by Kentucky Fried Chicken. It loops around, it goes over by the library. Would you have some of your people look at that when you get a chance and see if that's ready for it to be rebladed?
Yes.
Regraded, rebladed, please?
Yes.
I've had several people that have brought that up. Okay?
Yes, sir.
And that's it. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Anybody else? Okay, thank you very much, Dave.
Thank you.
Before we move on to any of the others, I'm going to back up for just a minute. Mr. Kunze, did I do the public hearings properly? For the
Yeah,
first two
you
items?
did. You
Unfortunately,
opened-
I was on a telephone call. so
She did. You opened the public hearing.
Did I?
You asked for comment in both locations, and then you closed the public hearing, and we
I didn't
call-
actually say the words opening the public hearing, and I didn't say the words closing the public hearing, but I did say it was a public hearing.
Yeah, you did. You announced it was a public hearing.
Okay.
Did you ask for public comment?
Yes.
Yes.
Then I think
Yeah,
you're fine.
she's
yeah.
fine.
Okay.
Yeah, that's, yeah.
Thank you. Then I'll move on to items number 4 through. We have checked this out with the DA's office before. It is acceptable for us to take items 4 through 22 as one action item. And these are to accept,
No, they're to set, and I'm ready to make a motion.
they are to set. Set time, date,
On
location.
items, the Road Commission agenda items 4 through 22, I move to set a date, time, and location of July 5th, 2011 at 10:15 a.m. during the regularly scheduled Board of Road Commission meeting in Tonopah, Nevada, to take public comment on these resolutions.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion?
Just quickly, were you putting this on the commissioner's agenda, or?
No, the Road Commission.
This is the Road Commission. Yeah, but we have to set the public hearings on these resolutions. This is the last time we have to do it this way.
Well, right, but I think we'll have to double check. I think that the law becomes effective July 1st, did it not?
July 1st.
So everything stays with the road commissioners. I don't
And
think
that's
you
where
have.
she's putting it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
thought she was putting it.
No.
Sorry, I thought I
During
heard
the
you say you were going to the
regularly-
commissioners.
No, during the regularly scheduled Board of Road Commissioners
Okay.
meeting.
I just want to clarify that.
That's okay.
Sorry.
Any further discussion?
He has to keep an eye on us.
Yes, he does.
Yeah.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes unanimously. That was Commissioner Boraski. And I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
All those in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned. We will return to the Board of Commissioners.
And recess again?
Yeah, recess right back to the Board of Liquor Licensing, and this is Commissioner Boraski, please.
Thank you. I'd like to open this meeting of the Nye County Licensing and Liquor Board, Tuesday, June 21st, 2011. 1, approval of the minutes. There are none. 2, general public comment, 3-minute time limit per person, requested to be limited to items not listed on the agenda, and no action will be taken by the board. Any general public comment in Tonopah? Hearing none. Any general public comment in Pahrump? Hearing none, we will close general public comment. I'd like to pull, item 3 is consent. I'd like to pull C for some discussion with the sheriff on this one. So that would leave B and D.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to approve items 3B and D.
Second.
I have a motion by Commissioner Wickman, a second by Commissioner Shinhoffen. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? That passes 5-0. Sheriff DeMeo, I got to clear it in my mind, and we might have talked about this the last time, but wasn't the original intent of the 72-hour permit for charitable events, 501c3s, things like that?
We looked at that ordinance, and there's nothing that says that precludes anybody from requesting a 72-hour permit. In fact, by our ordinance, and this is some of the things that the DA's office and the Nye County Sheriff's Office is trying to address, is that they can ask for a 72-hour permit a year, which is more in advance. I know we had discussed that in the past. There's just some issues with the way that the ordinance was written. But no, anybody can ask for a 72-hour permit. We actually had a 72-hour permit request for a wedding. And the reason, and this is some of the things we have problems with, is the only thing we have is in our ordinance, a 72-hour permit. Some of these events are over in 24 hours or less. I mean, and sometimes with the 4th of July event, or the Harvest Festival, whatever they call it this year, that event lasts 4 days, so we have to get 2 72-hour permits for that. So we're in the process of addressing it, but no, Commissioner, Mr. Chair, there's nothing in our ordinance that precludes anybody from asking for a 72-hour permit.
So basically, you're saying then we need to relook at that ordinance and be glad to sit down with your staff anytime and work on that?
That's correct, and we've even had 72-hour permits actually given for political events. Politicians requested them for their events. So, we have to sit down with the DA's office. I know the DA's office and I are concerned about some of the legacy items of our ordinance that have to be brought up to date because changes in law and, of course, changes in the complexion of our county.
Thank
Oh.
you.
Go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead. No, sorry. Okay, is there a motion item this item?
Motion to approve?
Second.
Everybody look at Tony.
Yeah, why not?
I didn't hear you say that there was anything wrong with this 72
No,
hours.
I'm sorry, yes, there's nothing wrong with that. And I'm sure if our illustrious DA, who's sitting right to my right, saw anything wrong with that, he'd bring it to our attention, so.
My motion stands.
Okay, I have a motion by Commissioner Wickman, a second by Sheriff DeMeo. Any further discussion?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. That was, I believe you just cleared up my question, so there are no concerns with the applicant. Thank you. That's what I wanted to make clear.
And thank you.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? That passes 5-0. We have nothing for brothel, gaming, or liquor. Item 7.
Motion to adjourn?
I have a motion to adjourn.
You're gonna look at me for this one, too? I second that motion to adjourn.
Okay, and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes 5-0, and we are done. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, Commission.
Thank you.
We'll
Anything else on
reconvene.
the agenda?
My mother thanks you.
No, actually, for the first time in a long time, Commissioners, we're not gonna bother you or anything on this agenda, you know, we're clear, as they
Motion to
say.
adjourn.
Okay, we'll return as the Nye County Board of Commissioners. We will go to our 10A item, which is a presentation of the project expenditures of money in the Assessor's Technology Fund. Is the assessor here?
Or her representative?
Or her
you?
representative? Please come on.
What?
10A.
10A?
You know what, I thought you said at first 10 a.m., and I'm
10
looking,
a?
yeah. Well, I know you said 10 a, but I heard.
Yeah, well, it caught me
My
there real
brain said
quick,
something
'cause-
else. Good morning. Is your mic on? It's not. Tony, will you help her with her mic? Oh,
There.
did she get it? Okay.
Thank you. My name is Teresa Shirley. I'm with the Nye County Assessor's Office, and I'm here to get the tech fund approved for the 2011-12 fiscal year.
Is there anything you want to say about it?
No, it does help us to finish our GIS project.
Uh-huh.
And the licensing for the GIS and the art pad.
Yes.
Also, some of our AS400 improvements.
Okay.
Are done through there, and the equipment that we use for those projects.
Okay. Motion to approve.
Second.
I have a motion from Commissioner Eastley and a second from Commissioner Boraski. All those in, whoops, any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes unanimously. Thank you very much.
Commissioners.
Thank you.
We'll move on to item 11. Hold on just one moment.
11H? The one you want?
Let's move on to item 11H, which is discussion, deliberation, and possible decision to adopt, amend, and adopt or reject Nye County Resolution 2011-69. This is a resolution supporting the Central Nevada Regional Water Authority in its formal protest to the Southern Nevada Water Authority's application for groundwater in Spring, Cave, Dry Lake, and Delamar Valleys, and other matters properly related thereto.
Motion to adopt with gusto.
I'll second it. We have public comment on this, too.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Okay, and I think that is...
Tim Hafen?
Timer.
Thank you, Commissioners. My name is Tim Hafen. I certainly agree with this ordinance, except I was unable to find the ordinance from the Central Nevada Regional Water Authority, so I felt compelled to ask a question.
Oh, it's a resolution, and the resolution from CNRWA is pretty much, this is it, isn't it?
Well, this
It's
is-
Well,
similar.
I guess my question, what's the basis of the protest? And if one of the bases is interbasin, opposing interbasin transfers, that's what I want to discuss then. I think that you need to be very careful about that. Interbasin transfers, so, you know, you can say, yeah, well, we're thinking of maybe importing water into Pahrump. That's very true, from another basin.
Actually, Tim, I think most of this is based on the fact that the residents who live in those valleys close to those applications, they're afraid of ending up just like the Bishop area.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Now,
Yeah.
on the other hand, Tonopah draws water from a different basin than Tonopah.
Yes,
And
it
that's an
comes over-
interbasin transfer.
It comes over the mountain.
And the time may happen when you need to look at another basin to supplement your water, and there may be other areas the same way. So I think this is a very dangerous thing that may come back to bite if that's the main or one of the reasons to protest the Southern Nevada Water Authority.
I understand
Other
that.
than that, I agree with the protest.
If the Central Nevada Regional Water Authority were doing that as a law change, I would understand your concerns. What they have done, we have agreed on the Central Nevada Regional Water Authority, we have agreed to support the protests for White Pine County and Utah in these areas simply because of the science involved in that particular transfer. So they are standing behind them, and please correct me if I'm wrong.
No, you're absolutely right. It's not based on interbasin transfers. It's based on an all-for-one, one-for-all philosophy among the sister counties in the CNRWA.
And there is science to indicate that what they intend to do out of those particular valleys is going to dry up everything in that valley for the farmers and the ranchers. And on behalf of those people who are represented there, the Central Nevada Regional Water Authority they don't just go out and protest. They don't do protests.
Okay.
But in this particular case, we have decided
Yeah,
to.
I'm very well aware of the areas of concern there.
Right.
And thank you for the information, but I just wanted to
That's why it's a
make that clear.
resolution. It's not an
Yeah.
ordinance.
Okay.
It's a resolution.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
where are we going to get the 650 from?
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Do
Pam,
we have a petty cash fund somewhere?
petty cash.
Yeah, just a minute.
Let's have a car wash.
Yeah, let's
From
do
the
a
water
car wash.
board.
Yeah, water.
Do you want to explain the reason we're asking for such a nominal amount, the $650, and where that came from?
I know where the figure came from. I'm not quite sure of the logic behind it, but since this was done by Elko County.
Well, I can explain the logic behind it. The reason that we're asking for the funding is because initially, when CNRWA had placed a limit on the amount of money that the organization was going to commit to the protest process, Nye County stepped forward and said that we were going to use our legal resources through George Benish. But although that's possible, and we did approve it for a number of reasons, including the fact that George was not testifying, he was simply monitoring the process. It didn't really work out the way we thought that it would. So several counties within Central Nevada Regional Water Authority structure stepped forward and they committed $650 worth of funding. Since our pledge of legal support didn't pan out, we decided to recommend matching what the other counties
Yes.
were
Just
obligating.
housekeeping issue, where's it coming from?
Oh, yeah, but I did want to explain where I thought
Yeah, where
it
the
was
dollar-
good to get that on the record.
I already knew that, but
101.
Okay.
Can take it from 101?
I'll amend my motion to adopt and take the 650 funding from Fund 101.
and I'll amend my second.
And I'm not sure where that check will be sent, probably CNRWA.
Okay. Well, then, do we have any documentation other than the agenda item to back that up?
We'll get you something from Steve Bradhurst.
Perfect.
That won't be a problem.
Thank you.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. We've had our discussions. All those in favor?
Aye?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes unanimously.
We were still in Austin on top of a mountain when Lorinda called in and,
I did. We
Got
did
this
this over
on
the
the
phone.
yeah.
Okay, it is 10:45. So we can go to our 10:45 agenda item. The first of which is a continued public hearing on Nye County Bill 2011-06. This is a bill proposing to amend Title I General Provisions, Chapter 1.01 of the Nye County Code entitled Code Adoption, sections. You can read those in there. I'll
Open
open the public hearing. Anyone who wants to speak on this item? Do you have
We have John Basta on this one.
on 1045A?
Yeah.
Okay. Give me the timer.
Yep, I get it.
Oh, this is public hearing. Public hearing.
Hello, is the mic on?
Yes, it is.
John Bosta, B-O-S-T-A. On this item, I oppose changing the title for the following reason. I believe that when a town elected board is created, the county has given that town the authorities that the county has in that matter. And this bill, by changing the Title I, is that you are saying that you will abide by all ordinances that we adopt, and you are taking the authority away from the town back to the county, because the town has the right to pass ordinances. And in this case, I feel that the Title I, as it is written, is adequate, and I don't see the reason for any change. And nobody has explained the reason for the change.
Mr. Osborne, would you like to explain that?
Well, actually, this was a housekeeping thing that was developed through the district attorney's office to make.
Mr. Osborne, can I
thing-
interrupt you for just one moment,
yes,
please?
please.
Can you hold on a second until we get our board back together
Sure.
here? Okay.
Okay.
Please continue.
This was a change recommended through the district attorney's office, and those modifications, I believe Marla was instrumental in processing, and we're just doing it as a housekeeping measure to accommodate what our attorneys have advised us to do.
Well, is this housekeeping to make up for a lack of proper procedures in the past? Because I don't see any reason for, quote, the housekeeping in this ordinance. What housekeeping is taking place other than the county taking back power that they've already given away?
My
It's actually the other
understanding-
way around, John.
Yes, it is.
I'm sorry.
Everything that you're protesting, the very reason you're protesting this, is exactly what we're trying to fix. What we are trying to fix is that in a town with an elected town board form of government, if that town has already adopted an ordinance and the county adopts a subsequent ordinance that's contrary to what the town under Chapter 269 has already adopted, the elected town board ordinance stands. It takes precedence over what the county has done. So what you're complaining about is exactly what we're fixing. That's
Okay.
what we're doing.
The thing that I see is that if the county has an ordinance and then the town wants to enter into that field and pass an ordinance,
Right.
and in some cases, the ordinance they want to pass is in conflict with what the county is saying.
Yeah, that's
It's
what
my
we're,
understanding that the town ordinance would become more effective over the county. Is that correct?
that's what we're saying.
Right,
That's exactly what we're saying.
Yeah, a classic example is concerning animals. Animal ordinances where our animal control goes out and enforces actions on animal control. That's kind of what started us down this path, because the town of Pahrump had ordinances on the books, and as long as they had them and we had them, then it created a problem, and that's really what started Marla thinking about this whole process.
Okay, agree to that. The thing is that what I have noticed is that, for example, the commission has appointed a committee, and the committee took and compared Title VI to the Pahrump Regional District part of the animal ordinance, and the Title VI county ordinance was changed to mirror what the Pahrump Regional Planning Commission had, and after it was approved and mirrored to what the Pahrump district had, then the Pahrump district removed that section of the animal control, and so what happens is the County 6 general ordinance becomes the Pahrump ordinance, and the Pahrump ordinance is being forced on the rest of the county.
Well, John, and don't take this the wrong way, but, you know, we're going to listen to our attorneys, and I don't know, are you an attorney?
I'm not an attorney, but I can read the statute.
Well, I understand that, but we're going to take the advice of our attorneys, and we
Well,
always
the thing
do
is,
that.
what I'm recommending to the board is that you have taken the advice of the past district attorney, and he has put you in a world of hurt, and sometimes his advice was not good. The one thing I admire about Mr. Kunze is Mr. Kunze is willing to take a look at the items and is willing to do it. I wrote him a 23-page letter, and in that 23-page letter, he has Marla looking into the many items in depth, but yet, other than one email that he sent to me after the Legislative Council Bureau's comments, is the only comment that I've received back on my 23-page letter. And here in this case, this particular change almost looked to me on the surface of circumventing.
Hold on
And I just
one
want to
moment,
make
John.
sure that's not happening.
Hold on just one moment. Let's get our board back together.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anytime you guys need a break, just let me know.
No,
and
it was just something urgent that.
Okay. Go ahead.
It just seems to me that there are some of these items that we need to clear up, the wreckage of the past that we're trying to clear up is we have so many things coming forth that we're trying to change, and actually when I take a look at this agenda item and I look at it on the county website and that, there's not a good explanation of why these changes. Like, for example, why is the definition of a town being changed to include an elected town board where in the past it only included incorporated towns with advisory board or no town status. And it seems to me that that would be the reason for the county ordinance would to cover those areas in the county that are not covered or controlled by a town elected board. Because each town elected board can have its own ordinances. It seems to me that the county would be taking a look at the unincorporated towns with advisory boards and no towns, and in many cases the problems that you have in Pahrump because of the closeness of neighborhoods in that is entirely different than out in the rural Nevada. You take some fellow that has a ranch out in the middle of Timbuktu, 20 miles to the nearest neighbor, and he has to abide by the ordinance. And some of the
That's correct, because town advisory board forms of government have no authority, none, zero.
I understand that.
So that's why, that's the purpose of.
And that's the purpose of the county, is to protect that area.
Exactly. So we agree, we agree with everything you're saying. That's the purpose of this.
But the point that I'm trying to make is the people who have been advising you on these changes are basically people who live in Pahrump and not the rural areas. And what they have done is they have incorporated their regional district rules and regulations into the general county.
Thank you, John. Mr. Kunze, would you like to add anything to, I'm very clear on what we're doing here, and I think that.
And I am too.
We've explained this probably at least 10 different times. I don't know if you really need further explanation.
Okay, thank you.
This is doing the exact opposite of what Mr. Bost is suggesting.
Right.
It is recognizing the authority of the town boards to enact whatever ordinances they have within their powers under 269. If they enact that law is what will apply in the town. If they do not enact a law, we then, under this change, will allow any particular criminal ordinance or anything of that nature that we can enforce in the town of Prump. Right now, we cannot do that
Right.
because the courts have ruled that the way the code is written, that the entire Nye County Code does not apply to any area in which there is a.
Conflicting ordinance.
No, actually it does not apply in which there is a town board form of government. End of discussion.
Oh, yes, right.
And so
Okay.
we cannot enforce some of our criminal matters, like as was indicated, the animal
Yeah.
control. We are blocked from doing that from the courts. And now this will give us the authority to enforce what we can enforce criminally. And then if the town board puts an ordinance in an area, then we would enforce their town
Right.
ordinance and not the county.
Which is just what you're
Yeah.
saying, and that's
Okay.
the purpose of it.
And I thank you for the clarification, because in the brief comments that are made here, I didn't see that explanation.
Yeah.
It's been explained, it's on the record. I hope that the minutes reflect the
they will.
comments that have been made, such that it is very clear the purpose of this, and thank you for your time.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
And if I could just add, we did do some word changing, I think, from the last time, and it's been changed many times. And one of the things I do want to point out, which was an issue that I think the commissioner kind of touched on, that we wanted to change,
No.
was that we did make it very clear that there was concern that the way the wording was that the town had to have an ordinance in place as of today. And so we did change the language to make it very clear that if the town has an ordinance in place now or enacts an ordinance in the future,
Right.
that is going to be the controlling ordinance and not the
Yeah.
county ordinance.
Just like what
and
you
that was
said,
kind of one
John.
of the major,
Exactly, yeah.
in talking with all the different people that had comment on it, that was one that I felt was appropriate, and you'll see that language reflected.
Madam Chairman, you're ready for a motion?
Is there any,
Public hearing's still
is there
open.
anyone else who wishes to speak on this item, either for or against? Sam, is there anybody there in Tonopah?
No.
Okay, I will close the public hearing. Commissioner Shinhofen.
Motion to adopt.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes 4-0. We'll move on to item, the 1045 timed agenda item B. It's a public hearing on bill number 2011-07, and this is the development agreement for Solar Reserves Tonopah Energy, Solar Energy LLC.
Madam Chair, if I might,
Please.
county code says that we must hold that we have to adopt this ordinance if we're going to adopt it in Tonopah. So what we're going to do today is open the public hearing on this item, close the public hearing, and then continue it to July 5th, I believe. No, just continue
Okay,
it.
I'll open the public hearing. And if there is anyone who wishes to speak on this item,
Yeah, that's actually a statutory requirement, not a code,
I have a
county
Greg.
code. It's
Esposito.
an
I said
NRS
code,
inter-
I meant
it's an NRS,
statute.
Yeah.
Statute.
Esposito?
Was I there when I said that?
Tell me how to pronounce your last name.
Esposito.
Oh,
It's Italian.
I was close.
Yeah, very close.
Please go
Hockey,
ahead.
actually. It's a hockey name. My name is Greg Esposito. I represent Plumbers and Pipefitters Local 525 in Las Vegas.
Hold on just a moment. Let us know when you two are ready to go. Okay. No, you're fine.
Good morning, members of the commission. Greg Esposito, representing Plumbers and Pipefitters Local 525 in Las Vegas, as well as Local 350 up in Reno. I'm also an officer of the Southern Nevada Building and Construction Trades Council and am in communication with the Northern Building Trades Council, where this project's jurisdiction will fall. I've appeared in front of this board before, speaking on exactly what one of the sections of this development agreement speaks to, which is employment. I've tried to encourage this body to make sure that if projects are getting built in Nye County, they're using Nye County residents to the best of their ability.
Let's make it perfectly clear what you're saying. Nye County union workers, correct?
No, actually, when I've spoken to you before, I've actually spoken to the fact that Nye County workers in general should be used on Nye County projects is something we advocate for. Sure, I'd love for them to be union members, but I think that workers should come from the jurisdiction where the work is being performed.
If I would tend to agree with that, if there is the labor pool to support that. Sometimes there isn't in these small communities, so we unfortunately have to import a lot of people.
And that's why I wanted to drive out here and speak to you for that exact purpose, actually.
Great.
To read from your agreement that the developer has an incentive to hire local or county residents.
Yes.
The developer further agrees that it will conduct public meetings in the town of Armagosa to provide information about employment opportunities. And that developer further agrees to assist the Great Basin Community College in developing a curriculum to train potential employees.
Excuse me, could you tell me exactly what page that is?
It's page 31, the new section 8, entitled Employment.
Thank you.
Similar language is in a second document, or the second section, also section 8. And my point is that I know, speaking from my trade and many of the other construction trades that I have conversations with, we're very much in favor of this project. We're looking forward to continuing to work. We've had conversations with Solar Reserve so far. Hopefully we can come to an agreement as far as the labor force. But we look forward to, if need be, opening our facilities to training residents of Nye County for some of the more technical and what we would call skilled work on these plants. From what I know of the project, it's a very complex project dealing with high-pressure steam, solar collection arrays, and we train for those things. And Local 350 in the north and 525 in the south would be willing to make sure citizens of Nye County are properly trained to where they could have that preference on those jobs.
Mr. Esposito, can I interrupt you?
Of course.
You referred to specific areas of the document. I can't find either one of them. I'm curious as to why, if this project is being built in Tonopah, why we would have public meetings in Amargosa.
Ma'am, I don't know. This is your agreement.
Yeah, I'm just asking, can you tell me where it says that in the...
It says...
The one that was in the backup was an early draft. We since have, that has been corrected. It does say Tonopah.
Oh, okay, because I didn't see that.
Current version.
Okay.
And it's section 8 under employment.
It's on page 31 of the first.
Oh, of the first one.
First one, it's 27 of this one.
Okay.
That's what I found.
Okay.
Sorry, this is Darrell Lacey.
Section 8.
Gotcha. Thank you. Sorry about that.
And I apologize. I was just reading from
No,
a
no, no,
document
no,
that
no.
was
That's
emailed to me
not,
yesterday.
it's
That's all I
not your
know.
fault.
Madam Chair.
That's okay.
Yes,
When
Commissioner
it gets
Brass.
to be my turn. I would encourage you to talk to your people in Las Vegas and encourage them to move to Nye County where there's cleaner air, brighter skies, cooler temperatures,
Excellent solution.
and less crime. You know, we would love to have your folks, your talented, well-trained individuals to come out.
Look at him blush.
And
Listen,
we'd like
that's
to have
right.
you in our communities.
Yeah, why don't you import yourselves? There you go.
Actually, the funny thing is one of my business agents is a permanent resident of Tonopah. His name's Matt Lyden. He and his family.
We love Matt Lyden.
Okay.
We know Matt Lyden.
Excellent. And he loves Tonopah.
Yes.
Why don't you have one of them move to Pahrump too then?
We have about 250 members who do live in Pahrump, and whenever I ask them, why do you drive an hour to get to work, they say, because we like the open air and keeping our horses close.
There you go.
So I'll conclude my statements there. I look forward, you know, I am at your disposal. You have my contact information. I gave you my business card. As this project moves forward and we talk about training of a workforce and making sure they're skilled and get the higher end jobs this project has to offer, I would like to facilitate any conversations necessary.
For any of you who remember Timmerie Cossack, Matt Lyden's her brother.
Mr. Esposito, we are going to continue this up in Tonopah for the July 5th meeting. Do you intend to come up and speak there too?
That would be quite a drive, but you know what? If it would make a difference, yes, I will. Because honestly, it's all about getting people out to work right now. So if it's necessary, I love your town, so.
And you
There's a
can do that
museum
from
and
here
stuff there
too.
you need to visit, and all kinds of stuff you could see and do and spend your money.
I'm looking forward to Goldfield Days. I'm probably going to wind up attending Goldfield Days.
And you'll end up staying in Tonopah. I don't think they have any accommodations in Goldfield.
I think they have a four-room motel. I think
They
Jim
do,
Marsh
but
has
do
a
you know
little
how hard
four-room.
it is to get one of those 4 rooms when there's
I'll
an
just,
event?
I'll just stay in the haunted place across the street. It's all good.
Yeah, there's a hole in the fence, I think, around back. You can
Madam
crawl.
Chair?
Commissioner Shinholfen.
Yes, or, when we set, we're gonna trail table load everything until July, are we gonna have a timed item? Or
Yeah.
will we set it for a timed? All right,
It's a public
Yeah,
hearing.
did we do
It has
that
to
this
be.
morning?
we do that? 10:45? All right, let me know when we're ready, we'll make that then.
Yeah, I don't think you need a motion.
Yeah, we
Just
don't need a
gonna-
motion.
We don't, okay,
we're
great.
just gonna
Is there anyone
continue.
else who wishes to speak on this item? For or against?
Mr. Esposito, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Then I will close the public hearing on this item, and we are trailing it to 10:45 on July 5th. And we're late for our 10:50. So we are going to go to our timed agenda item for 10:50 a.m. It's a presentation by Beck Environmental and the Public Works on our solid waste management plan.
You'll push. Okay, thank you. That's what I need.
Elizabeth, I thought that was you sitting out there, but I thought, why would she be here?
Because she finally let me out. My name is Elizabeth Nelson with Beck Environmental. That's Nelson. Madam Chair and Commissioners, I am pleased and proud. Where are you, David? Thank you. To present for your consideration, hopefully your adoption and implementation of the Nye County Solid Waste Minimization and Hazardous Waste Management Plan. This plan has been in the works for better than a year. Public Works assembled an advisory team of representatives from each of the 6 communities named in the plan, Amargosa Valley, Beatty, Gabbs, Tonopah, Pahrump, and Round Mountain. These representatives met for several times, and during those meetings assembled a great deal of materials and information about recycling, about solid waste minimization, and about handling of household hazardous waste. After these meetings, the series of meetings, the Public Works Department went on a road show. They went out to each of the 6 communities and invited members of the community to give input to the plan. They presented the plan where it was and said, look, what do you want in your community? What do you need? What do you have? You know, what are your thoughts? We ran into a variety of
Ms. Nelson? Mrs. Nelson?
responses.
Mrs. Nelson?
Yes.
Your backup in this agenda was phenomenal.
Yeah.
I love the management thing, and rather than having you go all the way through it, I would like to just ask if anyone on the commission has a motion or any questions.
No, I'm ready to move to item B.
Okay. Let's move right on to item B.
It was great.
Thank you.
Yes, it really is great. It reads well. It's also pretty. As a matter of fact, I hope you don't mind, but I took a copy of this from the internet, or from our backup that was online, and I sent it to staff who is preparing our plan for the road project, and asked them to copy it.
And you
Make
know,
it pretty like that.
Amy Fanning did a
Yeah.
tremendous amount of work on the
Oh, now see,
flyers,
had I
on the
known that.
presentation.
Yeah.
Everyone has really been behind this.
Thank
I've
you.
enjoyed meeting with the members of the community.
Thank you. Commissioners, I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to adopt the Nye County Solid Waste Minimization and Household Hazardous Waste Management Plan, and to direct staff to begin implementation of the selection, which is no to low cost recommendations from the plan, and then finally to direct staff to submit the plan to NDEP for their review and approval.
Second.
I have a motion from Commissioner Eastley, and I have 2 seconds. So, any further discussion?
Did you get that, Linda? Okay, thank you.
With no further discussion, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? Passes 4-0.
Good job, ladies.
Very good job. Thank you so much.
That got us back
Commissioner
on time.
Wickman, I have to compliment you on, just by asking that you were able to hit these items one right after the other. And it's the first time in at least a year and a half that that's been done, so thank you.
I'm
The
getting
way it's
dizzy.
supposed to work,
I'm
Butch.
getting dizzy, it's moving fast.
Let's go.
As recently as last week, I chair a RAC, and I was referred to as the meeting Gestapo, but they said it with a smile.
Good, let's go, 11 o'clock.
We are going to move right on to the 11 o'clock timed agenda item, which is a discussion for consideration on the April 5th meeting to approve the commercial water sewer expanded service agreement. I'm going to turn this over to Commissioner Shinhofen.
Hey, Wendy.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. I had concerns about after we had voted on that item, I found that there was a statement made from a UICN representative that they didn't need any more expanded sewer service. I thought this might be a way that we could save some money. I since have been informed, I've learned, informed by the DA also, that this is part of the tariff that agreements that Public Utility Commission actually has these servers do, whether they need it or not. They collect this money.
Right.
And so all my questions are answered. There's nothing we do, as much as I would like to not pay for something that much. And I believe Ms. Barnett would wants to speak to that, since we've had her out here once already, and so she would like to now, I guess, explain a little better than I did.
Ready, go, before Lorinda jumps on you.
3 minutes.
I can keep this brief and maybe even get you ahead of schedule. I'm Wendy Barnett with Utilities, Inc. of Central Nevada. I'm sorry I missed the agenda item the last time. Thank you for having me back. In the state of Nevada, growth has to pay for itself. And obviously, some developments such as Mountain Falls can build their own wells and tanks, but that's not true for the norm. So therefore, there are capacity fees. Capacities are calculated by the amount of consumption used by the new development. We usually take an engineer's estimate so that the developer provides us that number of their estimation of use. We then times that times per gallon, times the capacity fees in our tariff. Those fees are designed to be our cost. We are not allowed to make money on contributions. And what happens with that cash in aid of construction is it reduces our rate base. So it actually reduces the amount of money we ask for and in the upcoming rate case. And that's part of the reason there was actually a decrease in sewer rates during the last rate case. So one, it helps current ratepayers, and it makes sure that growth pays for itself. If ever anyone thought that I had, or the company had misapplied the tariff, they are always welcome to let the Public Utilities Commission Consumer Resolution Division know, and they will help settle that dispute. So there's always that means too. There is in the Nye County jail expansion probably a refund actually coming, but not in the tune that Commissioner Shinhofen had hoped for. But there is an extra meter that you guys paid for and have not used. So when it all comes to the end, I expect you'll be getting a refund, just not in the proportions that Mr. Shinhofen had hoped for.
Yay.
Thank you, Wendy.
Thank you, guys.
Always nice to see you.
Thank you. If I'm brief.
We're going to move right along to item 11B, which is, do we have any planning and zoning items?
Yeah, we do. We have a plan, we have several of them, but they should go quick.
Okay. Except, I can't find them.
They're in the very back of your agenda, the last one.
817.
Back of the bus. Steve's in the back of the bus here. What are we at?
Okay.
Who? Somebody.
The first is a public hearing on request for approval of the following planning and zoning matters, and there
Madam
are...
Chair, can I call a point of order? I think you need to ask for ex parte communications and conflict of interest disclosure.
Are there any?
No.
Commissioner Boraski?
No.
Commissioner Eastley? Commissioner Shinhofen? Okay. Now we'll move on to the public hearing, and I'll open the public hearing. Steve, you want to hit it?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I don't have anything further to add from what's in the staff report.
I'm ready to make a motion.
Okay, is there anyone here who wishes to speak for or against any of these items? Okay, I'll entertain a motion. I'll close the public hearing and entertain a motion.
Yes, I move to approve ZC 11-0003 as per the recommendation of the Regional Planning Commission.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Passes unanimously. Move on to the next item, which is 2A2. Is there anyone who wishes to speak on this item? Then I will close the public hearing and entertain a motion.
Madam Chair, the Regional Planning Commission recommended approval of zone change 11-0004. My motion is to approve based on their recommendation.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion?
Yes, Madam Chairman. Is this the last of the cleaning up from the zone, oh, come on, Dan.
The Hogle Ireland process?
That's the one.
There's a few more. I think there's about 4 parcels left.
About 4 more?
We're getting there.
We'll finally get there. Okay, that's what I was hoping for. Okay, that's it, thanks.
Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes unanimously. We'll move on to the next item, which is 2A3. I'll open the public hearing. Anyone wishing to speak on this item? For or against? I'll close the public hearing and entertain a motion.
Yes, the recommendation of the Regional Planning Commission is to approve this item. My motion is to support their recommendation.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Passes unanimously. Thank you.
It's a manageable agenda.
I cannot go to our next timed item yet because it's too early.
Oh,
Then let's go to
darn.
the Amargosa Valley item. They've been sitting out here
Okay.
and
That is, what, 12A? 12A. This is an agenda item for 1, to adopt or reject a proposal titled Initiative Petition with the Town of Amargosa Valley seeking an ordinance change in the unincorporated Town of Amargosa Valley, with the Town Board of Trustees with an advisory board to the unincorporated Town of Amargosa Valley with elected town board pursuant to, I didn't read that right.
yeah, you're fine.
Okay,
You
I
read it.
did. And the second item is to set a date, time, and location for a public hearing on the bill that will do just that. And the third is, if this proposal is rejected, direct the election to be held pursuant to NRS 269.0165.
Madam Chair, I'm ready to make a motion.
Please.
My motion is to adopt the proposal titled Initiative Petition within the Town of Amargosa Valley and to set a time, date, and location for a public hearing of 10:45 a.m. on Tuesday, July 19th in Pahrump.
I'll second that. I'll second that, and I have 2 public comment forms.
Okay. I have a motion and a second. We'll open it for further discussion. You said you have 2.
Joe DeLee and John Basta.
Take this alphabetically, boys. Go ahead, Mr. Basta.
My name is John Basta, and I'm a member of the committee that brought this proposal to you. I'm in support of your motion to do number 1 and number 2, and we're looking forward to moving on in this item.
So are we.
I want to thank you very much for considering this.
Thank you. Mr. DeLee?
Joe DeLee, D-E-L-E-E. I too am on the committee, the Citizens Committee that started the petition, and I'm here to support the proposal. And it sounds like everything has been addressed already by Mr. Basta.
No need to sell
That's all I
past the
have.
sale.
Thank you. I have a motion and a second on the floor. Is there any further discussion? I'll call for the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes unanimously.
Madam
The
Chair.
second item under 12 is very brief. Let's go ahead and take that.
I did. Oh, well, I've got to read the title of the bill into the
Oh,
record.
I am so
Yeah, that's
sorry.
why I started.
I'm sorry.
That's okay, that's okay. Madam Chair, Bill Number 2011-09 is an ordinance amending Title 18 of the Nye County Code by amending Chapter 18.04 thereto, adopting and approving the formation of the unincorporated town of Amargosa Valley, County of Nye, State of Nevada, adopting and approving the town board form of government for the unincorporated town of Amargosa Valley, providing for the appointment of the initial town board, providing for the election of succeeding town boards, providing for the constitutionality, severability, and effective date hereof, repealing all ordinances or parts of ordinances relative to the town of Amargosa Valley in conflict herewith, and other matters properly relating thereto.
Thank you. We're going to move on to item 12B, which is the discussion on appointment of one member to the Beatty Library Library Board due to one resignation.
Move to appoint Shirley Harlan.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? It's unanimous. Where are we going, guys?
Do you want to go to Daryl's items, 27A?
We can do that.
20D. Make 'em wait.
We will. Let's move on to items 27.
Yes.
Nuclear Waste Repository Project Office, 27A.
Make 'em wait.
Are you ready for a motion?
I am.
Based on the recommendation of staff, motion to approve.
Second.
I have a motion and a second on the floor. Is there any further discussion?
Madam Chairman?
Yes.
The agenda references item 16 as an NTE increase of 20,000. That should be 70,000. The backup is correct, but I just want to make sure that you're aware that you're approving this at 70,000, not at 20.
Yes, noted for the record. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? That's unanimous.
33.
Thank you.
33B.
That was grueling, wasn't it?
Let's do the
That's
whole
Daryl's
section
item.
33. That
okay.
should go quick.
20.
Actually, for the Pahrump Valley High Schools, they will be here at about 2 p.m., so I'd like to handle them.
I hope the meeting will
After
last that long.
Well, we might be able to call them and have them come down early.
Oh, we do?
What time at 1:30?
Okay.
Right after lunch?
Daryl just said we have a judge coming in. Oh, they're here?
You're here?
Oh, terrific.
Wow, you intended to sit here until 2 o'clock? Okay, come on up.
So were we, honey. We were hoping not to.
Okay, let's take item 33A, which is a discussion, deliberation, and possible decision concerning a request to approve providing tuition for 2 Pahrump Valley High School drama students. Please come on up. Is it?
Madam Chair, this is like an annual thing. I'm going to make a motion to approve with pleasure.
Second.
It's a wonderful program, and speaking as a mother who had 2 sons complete their education there at Southern Utah University, motion to approve.
Second.
I have a
Great
motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? Go ahead. See what happens if you do. Okay.
Now, you do have to come back and give us a report afterwards.
And maybe read a few lines.
Yeah, that would be fun.
That would be wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Have fun.
We'll move on to item 33B, which is discussion on appointing 3 members to the Nye County Water District Governing Board for a term of 2 years.
Madam Chair?
Yes, ma'am.
It is the recommendation of staff to appoint Midge Carver, Roberta Midge Carver, John McLaughlin, and James Weeks, and my motion is to follow the advice of staff.
Second.
I have a motion and a
Would
second.
you, just
Is
for the
there-
record, would you please indicate which seat they're being appointed to?
Yes, of course. Roberta Carver for the position representing Current Creek and Smoky Valley, John McLaughlin for the position representing Pahrump Area 4, and James Weeks for the position representing Beatty and Amargosa, which is Area 3.
And those are all for 4 years.
Yes.
Okay.
Actually, it says here, term will expire. 2 years. It's a 2-year term.
No, they already did the 2.
Oh, yeah.
There should be 4.
After the initial terms, each member of the governing board serves for a term of 2 years. Yes, 2 years.
2 years?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye?
Aye.
Anyone opposed?
Aye.
What? You're opposed?
Just, yeah.
It passes 3-1. Would you like to explain your?
Yeah, do you want to
Sure.
explain?
Yeah, I just felt there was someone better qualified for the Pahrump area. So I don't know if everything else is fine with me, but that's why I'd vote no.
Okay.
Okay,
fair.
that passes 3-1. Excuse me.
That's okay. Yeah, not like you're going anywhere. That should take us right to 11:30.
Yes, let's do 23A. Discussion, deliberation, and possible decision to award, this is the chip seal overlay and fog seal. And waive the formality of 1 original and 3 copies to be submitted, and 3 to execute the contract.
Madam Chair.
Yes, please.
It is the recommendation of the Purchasing Department and Public Works to award the bid to the low bidder, which was Intermountain Slurry Seal of Watsonville, California. The low bidder submitted only 1 original bid instead of the requested 1 original and 3 copies, but the Purchasing Department is asking us to waive that requirement. It is my motion to award to Intermountain Slurry Seal of Watsonville, California, and waive the requirement for the original and 3 copies.
Second.
And?
Yes, I was just going to add that, and to execute the bid,
Execute.
or
Okay.
execute the contract.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye?
Any opposed? Passes 4-0. Next item is a discussion and possible decision to award contract for the paving and to execute the contract.
Madam Chair.
Yes.
The recommendation of the Purchasing Department and also Public Works is to award this bid to the low bidder, Wolfenstein Construction of Pahrump. It is my motion to award to them and to authorize execution of the contract.
Second.
I have a motion and 2 seconds. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye?
Aye. Any opposed? Thank you. Let's just move right on. Let's see. It's not quite 11:30 yet.
How about C and D in the county managers section?
Let's do that.
20 C and D.
Yes. Let's move on to item 20C. Well, 20A. Is there anyone who has any comments or questions on the project report?
No.
No? Okay, then we'll move on to item 20B. Wait a minute.
Yeah.
That looks awfully familiar. No. Okay, that's cool. I wasn't trying to hurry you up.
Well, and I skipped you on purpose because I thought it'll take longer than till 11:30. Okay.
Hello, Madam Chairman, Commissioners. My name is Eileen Christensen with Beck Environmental. I have backup in your, for this agenda item that just needs to be modified on page 8 or slide number 8. It says revenue from county town options to lease/leases. We put that in as 1 year. We need to modify that, and we will in future reports from the contract initiation forward. The actual amount is $100,592. That's the only change.
Perfect. Thank you. I like changes like that.
I was counting pages. I apologize. What are we changing that to?
On the measures of success table.
Yes.
Slide number 8. We're going to be reporting that in the future from the contract forward, because the 1 year
On
timeframe-
the revenues?
Yeah, under revenues for county, town options and leases, it says 83,000.
Yes.
The amount from the date of the contract forward is actually $100,592. That's the only change.
Yeah, that's a great change. Eileen, can I take this opportunity to just say on the record how much I value your work? I really mean that. It has been such a great pleasure for me to be part of your team and to have the opportunity to work with you. You and your staff do a phenomenal job. I cannot tell you how much I appreciate you.
Thank you very much.
You deserve every penny that you are paid.
Yes, and Eileen, I want to add to that just a little bit, because when I go out of town and I have to be in these meetings, and I think I'm going to be there alone, and I see you or one of your staff there,
Yes.
it's like everything is okay.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
From the bottom of our
Hearts.
political hearts,
Yes,
thank you
that's
so
it.
much.
Thank you.
Right?
Yes, we do.
Yeah, well, if you could convince all your employees to move here, that would be just so much better.
Yeah, don't
So
forget there are other parts of Nye County than Pahrump, so you're
Right,
welcome to
I
come
said
north.
here, Nye County, I meant, I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Ladies and
Actually, you know
gentlemen-
what? I don't care. With work like you do, you can live in Timbuktu for all I care. Thank you.
Thank you.
We're going to take a 5-minute break. We'll be back here at 11:35.
Thank you.
3.
We do have 3 commissioners, so we're going to continue on. We'll go on to item 20C.
How about the 11:30? Oh,
well,
never mind.
I was considering
Sorry, I
that,
forgot
however.
we didn't finish that section.
Oh, yeah, we can do that, Joni. That's a good suggestion. We'll move on to the 11:30 timed agenda item, which is discussion and deliberation concerning a request to approve a renewal proposal from the Nevada Public Agency Insurance Pool.
Madam
And
Chair?
two, yes, ma'am?
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I think the backup was adequate. I have no questions, and I'm prepared to make a motion.
Okay, please do.
My motion is to authorize payment from, for fiscal year 2011-12 in the amount of $666,098.02, which is budgeted from Fund 101.
Yeah, I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Please show that Commissioner Shinhofen is not here yet. So that passes 3-0.
Thanks, Wayne. And Ken, thank you.
Thank you.
Then we are going to go back to item 20A. I think it was 20A. C, I'm sorry. 20C, discussion and deliberation to approve, or discussion and decision to approve a contract for a structural engineering evaluation on the MW Dish Tower at the jail.
Is that microwave, MW? Okay.
And that will be funded from 499 bond proceeds.
Yes, motion to approve. It has to be done.
I have a motion.
It's kind of a no-brainer.
I have a motion and a second. All those, is there any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Passes 4-0. Please let the record reflect that we have our Commissioner Shinhofen back again.
I didn't realize 5 minutes was really 5 minutes. I forgot who
minutes
was
is
running
5
the meeting. I'm sorry. Sorry about that. 33A?
That's right. It's when Lorinda runs the meetings, that's a good time to quit smoking, Dave.
Jawohl. Ja. Boom.
And I'll suffer right along with you.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true.
Item 20D, discussion and deliberation of possible decision to adopt, amend, and adopt or reject Nye County Resolution 2011-68, a resolution calling on the governor and the state of Nevada legislatures to display common sense and fortitude in making the right decisions on the education budget. As currently proposed, we, the students, find our educational goals. Oh, this is the one that they wanted to wait on. I am so sorry.
Boy.
We're going to back up. We're going to wait on that one
I'm
until 2.
prepared to make a motion to reject. I'm serious.
Yeah.
Let's wait until they have an opportunity to be here. We're going to have to come back after lunch anyway for closed sessions.
Yeah.
So I'd like to put that off until they're here.
Chairman.
Let's go on to item 25A. This is risk management area. Discussion, deliberation, possible decision, and direction to staff to authorize the in-house advertising and filling of a probation officer position.
Madam Chair.
Yes, ma'am.
Madam Chair. Human Resources supports the in-house advertising and filling of these positions, and my motion is to approve based on staff's recommendation.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Passes 4-0. Item 25B, this is also a discussion on in-house advertising and filling of the community health support specialist.
Madam Chair.
Yes, ma'am.
We have an interlocal contract between the State of Nevada Health Division and Nye County that requires us to fill this position. So HR is supporting it, obviously because of the contract, and to advertise in-house and fill it in-house, and that's my motion, to advertise and fill in-house based on staff's recommendation.
Do I have a second?
Second. Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second, and also, any further discussion? This is also funded out of 260. It's not funded out of 101.
Yeah, it's not a general fund.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Passes 4-0. Next item is discussion to fill
Staff recommendation.
through in-house advertising the district court supervising legal secretary. Is this one that was wanting to be held as well?
This is one that they are asking. The position is vacant as a result of the PERS buyout, but they want to fill it as an executive legal secretary. It is not budgeted, but we're requesting that it be filled in-house and then the position, if it were filled in-house, the budget would come with the position.
There we go.
With the body that's
This is Sam. I
accepted.
think Jerry wanted to come down for that, and she should be on her way.
That's what I
Jerry
was.
Clifford.
Okay, I also have a note here that Judge Wanker will be here at 1:30. Can we-
Oh, okay, so can we hold off on that?
Huh?
That's for E, though.
Yeah, it's
Yes.
not for this item, though, yeah.
Oh, sorry. We're going to have to go buy another pair of cheaters, because I was definitely looking at a C. Okay.
Thank you. So are we moving forward with this?
Yes.
I'd like to make a motion to approve based on staff recommendation with that clarification that whoever moves over will bring their funding with them.
The only way that the funding can come is if it comes out of a general fund position. We can't
Right.
transfer over from something outside the general fund.
Yeah.
It looks like Pam wants to say something.
No, I want to make it clear that this becomes a budget transfer. The amount of budget that is transferred with the in-house employee, if it's not sufficient to cover the new position, then the existing department has to make up the difference.
Mhm.
So I just want to
Right.
make, so everyone understands, this is just moving budget. It is not
done it
adding
on-
to budget.
And we're not
We've done
break-
it on other positions.
And we're not breaking our own, what we
No.
set out to do.
Correct.
That's why I made the motion then, waiting for a
Okay.
second.
I do have a motion. Do I have a second?
Do we still need to wait for Jerry Clifford, or is she wanting to talk on D?
You know,
I mean,
she
on
just got
E.
out of court.
Only if you had
Well,
questions
she
or
wanted
needed
to speak-
clarification.
She wants to speak?
This is Sam. I've got her on Messenger, and she was going to come down. She just got out of court, but now she's got it online, so she's listening, and I've made her aware of what you guys have said, so I don't think she'll make it down.
Okay.
I have a motion on the floor. Is there a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes 4-0. Item 25D, this is also for a position of a district road supervisor and second for road maintenance worker 2, or worker 3 in Tonopah.
These are 205, right?
Correct.
And HR's recommendation is to support the in-house advertising and filling of these positions, and based on that recommendation, motion to approve.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion?
Yes, Madam Chair, is this the same situation?
Yes, this is 205, but.
Oh, and it's 205, okay.
Yes, it's
Yeah.
not the general fund.
That's right in front of me, thank you.
You're welcome.
Is that everything?
That's it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes 4-0.
Madam Chairman?
Yes, ma'am.
Judge Wonker was coming for item E if you had questions, but if we want to proceed with it, we
I think
can,
the
and I can
backup is
notify her
adequate.
that, she doesn't need to appear.
I think the backup is adequate.
I hesitate to hear it knowing that she wants to come.
She was only going to come if you had questions.
If we had questions.
Only if we had
Yes.
questions. Does anyone have questions?
I'm ready to make a motion.
Okay, then we will proceed with that one.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
I'd like to make a motion to approve this filling of the position by contract.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in, any
I
further
have-
discussion?
yeah.
I have a second from Commissioner Boraski. Just discussion, please.
Yeah, just one additional thing I want to make clear for the record. This is a contract, and as such, we are not going to be paying benefits on this, but we have to get the money from somewhere, so it's coming out of 101. Staff has indicated that even though the position is not budgeted, we intend to work at securing grants to help offset the cost. So I would urge them to get...
I'm sorry.
Get
And
a move.
I'm only asking to fund this
Yes.
at 50% right now.
Thank you.
While we pursue grants for the entire amount. But I've alerted Beck and a couple of other sources to be looking for possible ways to cover this through grant.
Thank
We
you,
are
Pam. And
required to
that
provide
was-
this position.
That was the end of my sentence, that I know, that's okay, that I realize it's being funded at only at 50%,
Correct.
so.
Well, and she's going to be taking on some duties that the other district court judge had been overseeing, which is going to open up some huge grant possibilities.
Yes.
So the possibility for this to be completely funded by grants is definitely there.
Okay, good.
We just don't have a commitment.
Yeah.
Commissioner Shinhofen?
Even if it's not, we save money doing
Yes.
it this way.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
That's all I wanted to make clear.
Any
Motion
further
stands.
discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Passes 4-0.
Thank you.
Thank you, Danelle.
Uh-oh.
So we'll come back at 1:30 and do the closed session, or do you want to do closed now, or?
No, I don't.
You don't want to do it now?
Can we save those until the end of the day?
Yeah,
We
we
sure-
only
we sure
have one
can.
other item.
Well, we need to come back for the kids,
We need to come back for the resolution.
the resolution.
Yeah,
I don't think it's for the kids.
yeah.
What do we have left? We have 20D is all we have left?
Yeah, that's it.
No kidding.
That's it. I know. That's the way you do it.
Well, then do you, if we took time now, we could come back at 2 o'clock and we'd have time enough to get lunch and actually get back here.
Closed
Or if you
No,
want to come back at
for-
1:30, we could do close to 1:30 and then
Yes, we
Yeah,
could do
that
that.
sounds
resume at
good.
2 o'clock if you want to do
Okay,
it that way.
it's a 11:45 right now. We will resume at 1:30.
In closed session.
We will resume in
Oh.
closed session at 1:30. So we'll probably be back in this room by, I don't know, 1:45.
Which closed session are you going into right at 1:30? Are you going to come back in the meeting and adjourn to closed session?
Yeah, I agree,
Do we
Sam. I
need to
think,
do
I think
that?
what we can do is, maybe what we can do is make a motion to go into closed session at 1:30. And then technically, the litigation's not really a closed session anyway. That's a non-meeting.
Right. Are you
So-
going into?
Yeah, so if they vote now to go into closed session at 1:30, we'll reconvene at 1:30. But yeah, you need to make that motion now, and then that'll save us coming back on the record at 1:30.
I'd make a motion to go into closed session at 1:30.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion?
Wait a minute.
Whoops.
What was
And
that
that is
motion?
litigation, correct?
That's for litigation, Sam, yes.
What?
No, this is for the labor.
Oh,
That's what I needed to know.
Yeah,
So
I'm
this
sorry,
is item
Sam, it's for the labor.
Say that motion again?
motion to go into, he made a motion to go into closed session
Okay,
at
gotcha.
1:30.
Oh, okay, all right. So we can do that? We can make a motion to go into close and then recess
Yes.
for lunch?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay,
And we
all
will,
right, I'm there. Gotcha.
the labor part.
That's the part I missed.
the item it complied to was labor.
And that was recommended by staff, by the way.
No, I have to stay overnight.
It's for labor. Okay, we'll reconvene at 1:30. Thank you, folks.
We can take a vote on that. I think we need to
Hey, wait a
vote on
minute,
it.
we didn't vote on that. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
That was the tricky part.
Yes, that's the tricky part.
And that was according to staff recommendation, by the way.
Anybody? It was seconded by Commissioner Shinhofen. The motion was made by Commissioner Boraski. All those in favor, that was 4-0. Thank you. County Board Committee, yeah. There were no decisions made in closed session, never is. Item 11G, the agency status report. I'm not going to go through a whole bunch of stuff for you. It will be included on the next agenda so you can read it. And then we will go to item 20D, which is discussion, deliberation, and possible decision to adopt, amend, and adopt or reject Nye County Resolution 2011-68, a resolution calling on the governor and the state of Nevada legislators to display common sense and fortitude in making the right decisions on education, on the education budget. Is there anyone who wishes to speak on this item?
Madam Chair, Commissioners, my name is Don Rust, I would like to introduce Shannon Hadfield, who's a member of the Great Basin College Student Senate, who's going to read the resolution and make some comments about it.
Yeah, we have the resolution in our backup, so we've already read it.
Okay.
Yeah, just in the
entire
interest
thing?
of time.
Okay. And what we'd like to point out is, despite some discussions about this being a partisan issue, it's not. It's directed at the people in the State House of Nevada and the legislature who passed a budget which didn't resolve the problem. And in 2 years, we're still going to have an underfunded educational system. And this is what the resolution is all about, as far as common sense and doing what we think they should have done. And so it's not directed at a party or a person. The governor's a person, but he was part of the process that came up with the budget. And the budget is not solving the problem. They cut 20 positions at Great Basin, including the Nye County Pahrump director. And the employees at Great Basin have had to take a 2.5% pay cut. And the students face a 13% tuition increase, and they expect a similar increase next year. So I'll turn it over to Shannon.
Well, thank you, commissioners, for taking a few moments to listen to us. And he's correct in everything he said.
Sorry, you're going to have to say your name for the record and spell your last name.
Certainly.
Okay.
Shannon R. Hadfield, Hadfield.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, there we go with that train of thought, that senior moment now. One of the things when you talk about the 13% increase, that's on top of the fact that we've had increases every year for the past 3 years. It's not just like, and we don't have a problem with students doing our share sacrifice, but we want to see some other sacrifices. We want to see something happen on the political side to bring in income into the state, to bring in income into higher education, K through 12, something other than cut. I really don't know how to explain it any better than that, other than as a person, I also was hit by this economic crisis, and I cut back down to top ramen, the whole 9 yards, but I still had to go out and get an extra job tutoring, selling my peanut butter fudge. I couldn't just cut. I had to bring in more money. So, since you guys read my resolution, you kind of left me dumbfounded here, so.
Madam Chairman?
Yes,
If I
Commissioner
might.
Shinholfen.
I'd like to, on the second page, 11, line 11, 12, and 13, that's the only thing in this that I wholeheartedly agree with, except I think it's sent to the wrong people. It should be sent to the unions, who, many of whom, the second half on line 12 there, are unprotected, referring to teachers, because our system of education awards seniority, not teacher competency in the classroom. That's something the unions have done, so I don't know how the governor would correct that. When you speak of more income in the private sector, more income means you take another job, you do what you have to do. In the public sector, more income means more taxes. That's the only way you get income in the public sector, I mean. Is that right, public? Anyway, you know, I think you know where I'm going with it. I have a few problems with this, mostly that it's not our resolution. This is your resolution, and feel free to get signatures. I see a bunch of blank pages for signatures, and send it on. But I can't support this. I don't see what it's going to do. They're out of session. They've done the budget, and the line in making the right decision. I think they've done the right decision. They've done all they can do, in my opinion. And because somebody doesn't make a decision you agree with, doesn't necessarily make it wrong. Of course, that's subjective too. So,
Can I respond to that?
Please.
I spoke to Assembly people last week at a leadership conference down in Las Vegas, and they told us, don't quit fighting. Nothing's written in stone, and it's not over.
Really? The budget's been adopted.
And
That's
the session's
interesting.
closed.
Well, Yeah, don't quit fighting. It's not over. As it said, things can come back and be adjusted and be changed and say, well, now we want 5% more from the Board of Regents. And now
Not
we
unless
want
there's a
this.
special session, correct? Or,
Yeah.
It is a done deal.
Special session.
yeah. I'm sorry, go ahead. I was just kind of thinking
Yeah,
out loud.
no, I'm just repeating what it said. The
Yeah.
battle
Yeah,
has not
that's fine.
stopped, you know, and we should not quit fighting. And maybe it's just for the fact that next year they're going to want to do 15%, 20% increase of tuition.
That's
So-
really interesting, because I read an article last week that the system is actually setting records for the number of students who are enrolled and who are graduating from the state universities. So it doesn't seem like the increases have reduced the number of students entering higher education.
Well, I'll give you an example. One of the presidents from CSN worked 3 jobs and slept on couches to get himself through there. So that's why we're graduating, because we're not going to give up just because we keep getting these increases. But by the same token, now we're going to get our degrees and we're going to go use them in a different state, because we're not going to stay in Nevada now. And is that really what you want?
That sounds like
you
a
want all your
threat.
graduates? Do you?
Sounds like a threat.
Yeah. Do you really want all your graduates to go to different states? I mean, I know I don't. I want to graduate and give all my education to this state.
I think this is
I
a
wanna
free
stay
society,
here,
and I want
so-
people to go wherever they think they can be successful. And if that is not in Nevada, God bless them. This is a free country.
Any further discussion?
I have a question for Mr. Osborne. How did this end up on the agenda with your name on it?
Well, actually, it's probably, and it should have been under public, but it got stuck under mine, so I'll accept the responsibility for that.
Yeah, because this is absolutely not a Nye County resolution.
No.
We are not students.
Should have been under public.
I completely agree with Commissioner Shinhofen, and it should never have come before us in this manner, because we are being asked to adopt a resolution in the body of which we are identifying ourselves as students from Pahrump, and we are clearly not that.
My
And this
fault.
should never, you should never have submitted this under your name.
May I make one comment?
Yeah,
Commissioner?
sure, Don.
It was never intended to be adopted by the county commissioners. The issue was support of the commissioners. I know what it says, but we didn't submit it to be adopted by the commissioners.
Then why are you here today?
We're here because it's on the
Seriously.
agenda.
Well, then somebody submitted it with a reasonable expectation that this board was going to adopt it on your
But
behalf.
no, what we expected was that the county commissioners, as the town board did, was support the resolution, not adopt it.
Well, that's,
Then I have to go right back to the county manager, so.
Yeah.
that's what we would, that's our choice. Our choice is, the way it is we adopt the resolution. As much as you want to make it not sound partisan, it tends to be a partisan issue, I believe, anyway, but that's not my vote. I've given my opinion on it. There's nothing else I can really say.
Go ahead.
Well, the only comment I'm going to have is if we keep relying on government to be the solution, they're not the solution, they're the problem. Education, I'm very, very supportive of education, so don't get me wrong. It's the most important thing we can do, is educate our children. I believe there's other ways to accomplish what you want, and homeschooling is one. Getting parents more involved with their own children seems to be a real problem, no matter where you go and what state you're in. I've noticed working with different agencies within the Pahrump Valley of Poverty Outreach and others that, and even the Boys and Girls Club, that there aren't that many parents that are really getting involved. And I just think our society is decaying down to a level that taking us from a world leader to a follower. And again, I may be sitting up here as an elected official that does not, don't get me wrong, I don't believe everything we do is right and has been done in the past and will be done in the future. Sometimes we make decisions trying to make something better and it winds up getting worse. I would support you on the fact that I will definitely ask the governor to use common sense and fortitude. And along those lines, I would give you my support. But to rely on the state government to try to solve all of the problems, they have options open, but they won't support them. The state doesn't, the local people support Yucca Mountain, but the upper state government doesn't want to do that. And that would bring billions into the state of Nevada that could be used for education. So maybe you need to attack them in a little different light and try to get them to stand up and do things that will bring money into the state of Nevada other than gaming. You can't take it all out on gaming and mining, and there's not much left. People aren't working, and there's really no way to get commercial industrial type businesses into Nye County without a rail line or something that's going to draw them in here. And I think that Nevada itself is letting a ship sail by that somewhere they're going to have to store that nuclear waste, and some people don't want it here, but other people are familiar with how to handle it. And in many communities throughout the country here that would beg to get it. So the government, the state government could do a lot of things, but right now I'll leave it at that.
Thank you, Butch.
Okay. Is there any further discussion? I'll entertain a motion. And with no motion forthcoming, that issue dies for lack of a motion.
That's all right. Thank you, Butch. I
Yeah,
appreciate
and I'll
what
talk to you
have said.
separately if you'd
Thank
like.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
Died for lack of motion.
I will entertain a motion to, well, let me see if I've forgotten anything.
General public comment.
General public comment and announcements.
I'll open the general public comment, and as this is the second one of the meeting, and as stated before, this is limited to a 3-minute time limit. And the issues will not be, no decisions will be made until they're included on an agenda. Mr. Basta.
You're off.
I'm an honor. Your Honor.
He said, am I on or off?
I said, Your Honor.
You're off.
No?
Okay, I guess I'm on, the light's on.
Now you're
There
on.
you go.
The reason that I came here during this public comment period is I would like to compliment you as a board for the efficient business that you had today in a timely fashion on time. This is the first time in 2 years coming before this board that I have not been rudely cut off by the chairman. And the people were willing to listen and discuss. And I know today we went well past the 3 minutes, but I feel it was one of the most productive times that I've come before this board. And I just wanted to personally thank you here in public for running such a good meeting.
Thank the
Thank
chairman.
you.
She's the one that did it.
Mr. Basta, I do want to.
Well, the chairman, I think, is missing. It's the vice chairman who did it.
Yes. It was
Thank you,
the
but
vice-
Mr. Basta, I want to correct you. When you were speaking on an item, you were limited to 3 minutes. Public comment, or public hearings, there's not a 3-minute limit on a public hearing.
Okay, well, I just really appreciated it because before, in public hearings, when I've been at the table, I've been cut off at 3 minutes. Thank you so much.
Thank
Bye,
you.
John. Did your ride make it?
That's it.
Is your ride here?
No, I brought the car and I dropped her off at the casino. She's having fun playing the machine.
Okay.
We'll take item 35. Are there any announcements? Okay, I'll entertain a motion to
Motion
adjourn.
to
Oh, Sam.
Oh, Sam,
wait,
sorry.
Wait.
Sam,
This is
hi.
Sam. I just wanted, sorry, I just wanted to announce really quickly that this is Linda Yule's last meeting.
Oh.
Thank you, and I was going to jump in there and say that before we adjourn.
Yes.
Yeah, Linda's taking early retirement, and Linda, you know how we feel.
Yes.
I had the pleasure of working with Linda and her husband for many, many years at Round Mountain Gold, and I just kind of followed her over here when she came. It's been a pleasure. Thank you for your service. Thank you.
has.
Thank you for your service.
Done a great job.
Don't disappear entirely.
Great job.
Thank you, Linda.
All right, motion to adjourn.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to adjourn. We are adjourned. Thank you very much, folks.
Thank you.
What, at 2:40? An agenda that big?